Good morning. I'm doing my video this way, landscape direction, because I want to possibly upload this video that I'm about to send you to my noodle channel. I've decided to start a YouTube noodle channel to try to sort out what I was discovering and what I was going through as I was digging. And now as I'm getting more clear and stuff, it's really just a place for me to validate what's coming up for me, because being able to talk to you now is awesome, and I really appreciate that. But when I didn't think I could say any of this out loud, and I was extremely nervous about even sharing it with Jim, let alone anybody else, I just started video journaling, and now all my video journals I'm uploading to YouTube on kind of like a secret YouTube channel that family can't see if they're following my personal one, you know, my Crystal Wells one. This is my personal noodle channel, right? So anyways, I'm going to talk to you about some notes that I wrote down. I wrote down some notes to kind of stay on task to what I wanted to talk about, because I didn't want to get sidetracked. But I was super fascinated with what happened this morning, and because I'm observant of what's going on rather than in the thick of it or in the humdrum daily whatnot, it just became really exciting for me to get a handle on what's going on with me. And this is like the best explanation that I can come up with, or at least if it is, anyways. All right, so we're gonna start this like I'm starting a YouTube show. Okay, it's gonna be a little weird, but here's how we're gonna do this. I'll edit the whole first part out. I'm gonna say, hi, my name is Crystal, and I got a bunch of noodles in my head. I like to call them the rainbow noodles. Today, I want to talk about some things that happened, and because I'm now aware of what's going on, I want to compare it to what would have happened in the past, and how much better it feels to have an understanding of what's happening rather than going through the motions that I used to go through. And we'll start for the first one. The first thing that happened this morning was my alarm clock goes off at 7 a.m. like it does every morning. And I'm tossing and turning and rubbing my eyes, and I'm thinking I'm, disassociating. I'm daydreaming. I'm in and out of sleep. It's not really any different than any other morning. And something just kept saying, you got to wake up. You got to wake up. Remember, today you need to wake up. Most days I sleep in. Most days I can sleep until 8. And so I'm become accustomed to ignoring the alarm clock. And so 7 o'clock goes, and I'm doing the in and out thing like most people do when the alarm clock is going off. And 8 a.m. is not an option this morning. That's all I kept hearing. You got to get up. You got to get up. Remember, you wanted to get up early this morning. Remember, you wanted to get up early this morning. And I'm like, okay. And then finally, at some point, I'm like, oh, I have an appointment this morning. I got to get the kids ready. So I needed to take them to the orthodontist appointments that they had. And it was just like this, whew, like instant, oh, that's right. That's why. So in the past, if that would have happened, I would have been mad at myself for not knowing it and not having it be the number one priority on my to-do list. Why didn't you remember that? See how long it takes you to remember things, Crystal? And wow, I'd beat myself up for something as simple as that. But I didn't. What I did was I chalked it up to Genius fronting. Genius is my orange noodle, and she is the one that handles all the appointments, and she's the one that's very organized, and she's on top of things, and she's brilliant at what she does, where the rest of the noodles are kind of on their own little world. Genius volunteered to be the mayor after Kathy went into retirement. Kathy was the mayor. Kathy is happy being in retirement, but we were kind of floundering after we put Kathy in retirement, and we didn't really have any direction. We didn't really have any, steady routines except for going to work, which was barely going to work since we work from home. So Genius was really a side noodle with the rest of the noodles, and nobody was hosting. Nobody was in charge. Nobody was directing the orchestra or, giving the instructions for the city at the beginning of the day. I'm giving you my analogy. So I didn't have anybody in charge of my day-to-day interactions ever since Kathy went into retirement. So now that Genius has stepped up to be in charge of the body and make sure that Crystal does what she needs to do to keep the kids' appointments, to keep work in check, and when Genius is not doing what she needs to do, then the other noodles can come out and play, which is a lot different than before. Kathy, the mayor, of Crystal City, before I was aware, Kathy was always doing what she thought everybody wanted her to do. It wasn't what Crystal wanted. Like, seriously, my life was dictated by what other people wanted from me. If people wanted me to show up to work, I showed up to work, even if I was sick. Even if I had emergencies going on at home with the kids, I felt extremely torn because more than one person needed me to be there for them. And I didn't have any clue which one was priority. I thought work was always priority because they really gave me the most reward for doing what they wanted me to do. I got the money, I got the approval, I got the thank you for coming in. I got all that stuff. You don't get much approval with having, kids sick and stuff. So I always found alternatives when my kids were sick. I always, just did my best and sniffled through the day when I was sick. I'm getting off track here. So Kathy was in charge, and she put the mask on and she did what she needed to do to get through every day. And yeah, it wasn't really any of the noodles being able to be themselves. Now, Genius is the one that just goes above and beyond, and she's just awesome at it. I'm getting off track. So I woke up very disassociated, thinking about random things. Genius finally woke up and reminded me about the orthodontics appointment. Let's just read from the notes, shall we? In my shower, I would have normally beaten myself up, but I didn't. I allowed each one of the noodles to come up and front when they needed to. And it was an amazing feeling because it wasn't me pushing any of the noodles aside. It wasn't me pushing these noodles to the back and saying things like, come on, we need to hurry up. Why are you taking so long? You should have been up already. You should have been out the door already, or stuff like that. It was more like, okay, we can listen to this song while we're in the shower because that's what one of the noodles wants to do. And when we're done listening to the song, we're going to go get some clothes on and make sure we remember this. And then we can go back to listening to the song. And it was like this collaboration of all the noodles getting to do what they felt like they needed to do. And instead of Genius or even Red, I got one named Red. She's like the mama bear. She's, I'm going to make sure that she's kind of a control freak. And see, Genius and Red, Genius just makes sure it gets done. She's very organized. She's not bossy, right? She's very helpful, and she's the worker bee, right? Whereas Red, mama bear, she's kind of like the queen bee, where she's just very, very persecuting, will talk down to me. So instead of her talking down to me this morning, it was very, very, very soft and very kind. Like, okay, well, you guys know that we need to get to this appointment. So go ahead and keep listening to the song, and you can get distracted one more time, and then we got to go. It was a very gentle way of reminding my noodles to head out the door. And it felt so much better than how it used to feel when we would needed to get going. Okay. That's just one example. So then I got ready, gently reminding myself what needed to do to get ready. We sang songs. Okay, so in the car, we got the kids, and they're laughing and they're having fun, and I'm enjoying that with them, whatever noodle that is. I mean, I have a very happy, I have a very happy noodle that can enjoy her time with her kids, my kids. I can be a very enjoyable mom to be with my kids. And when I'm not that noodle, then I'm a noodle that is probably not the happiest mom when the kids need a mom that is stern or firm or, it's time to get stuff done, kids type of mom, right? So that noodle wasn't fronting at that moment, and neither was Genius. It was actually Pinky, I believe, who was just singing along with songs, and we were making parodies, and we were just goofing around, and Pinky is the biggest ditz ever. And Pinky got us lost again. The last time we went to the orthodontist appointment, we were goofing off, and we weren't paying attention, and we were very distracted. And it's always when Pinky's driving that we get lost. And so as soon as Genius recognized, hey, we're wrong way. Okay, we turned the car. And now all of a sudden I'm serious. And now all of a sudden I'm focused on where we need to be and what road we need to turn down. And we go there every 6 weeks. So you'd think we'd remember, but Pinky doesn't. She's terrible at directions. But so I'm like, okay, I know where I'm going. I know how to get there. So I'm taking us there as Genius. And you got Pinky in the back going, I'm sorry. And then I'm hearing, not audibly, it's not an audible hearing thing, I don't actually hear it, but I'm hearing a conversation between Mama Bear and Pinky going, no, it's okay. You were having fun. You were giving kids fun. That's what your job is. You're doing great. Genius probably should have gently reminded you before the turn. That's all. We're working this out. We are figuring out how this goes. So I'm turning and I'm getting into the right lanes. My son's trying to get me back in that groove of whatever we were doing and talking about. He's gently nudging me. I can feel him trying to nudge Pinky out again without him recognizing. He doesn't know what he's doing, but I can sense it. So Pinky's sensing this. Okay, he wants me to come out again, but Genius is at the light. But we know where we're at now. We're 75% there is what Matthew says. And I say, no, we are more 9/10 of the way. And he's like, well, yeah, literally 9/10 of the way. Sure. Because we are really close. But he says, I was just having fun and making a joke because we're at 75th Avenue. So we're 75% of the way there. Get it? And all of a sudden, I'm like, ah, because it was Pinky really close to the front. And Pinky was like, she was able to have fun and be joking with it and stuff, where Genius is super serious and straight to the point and not able to do jokes very well. It's a very interesting experience to recognize that this is not new. This is not a new experience that I go through. Sometimes I am hilarious and I can get jokes really well. And sometimes I'm so serious and deadpan, like jokes like fly right by me. And my husband gets super frustrated because he's always trying to cheer me up with a joke or two. But if I'm in that noodle mode it ain't going to happen. So anyways, we get to the place and we get inside, and now I'm back to being Mama Bear. And Mama Bear is not happy with the way this woman didn't greet us when we walked in. And she didn't, she didn't give us eye contact when she says names or whatever, and you get this kind of like, and Mama Bear was already ready with her fight if they were to say something about parents need to wait outside or whatever, because we got special permission to come in today. So you can see how all the different noodles know when it's time to come out. And if I keep trying to force myself to be one noodle, it's a very distressing and anxiety-filled day for me. But by allowing them to come in, it's a gentle nudge, it's a gentle switching, and it's a very free-flowing fluid. It's a fluid way of coexisting. It's a fluid way of integrating in and out, like a flowy rainbow. And it really is a rainbow, a whole array of colors. And every time I notice myself starting to like get upset about something, I was like, no, it's okay. This noodle needs to say this right now, or this noodle needs to be who she is right now. Let me not. So yeah, we sang songs, and then I got lost, and then we laughed, and instead of beating myself up, we just laughed it off. Okay, so then we drove home. And I was extremely tired. Like I hadn't had any sleep. And I was really tired last night as well. And then we stayed up late, and then we got tired and went to sleep. So we're extremely tired. I'm having a hard time focusing. And then all of a sudden I hear laptops as we drive by the kids' school. And I'm like, oh yeah, we got to pick up their laptops by 3 p.m. today. I completely forgot. I didn't remember it this morning. I didn't remember it last night. I didn't remember at all. So driving by the school, I hear laptops, and I'm like, oh, that's right. All of a sudden I'm awake. All of a sudden I'm jolted. I'm not tired. My eyes aren't hurting like they were a second ago. It's very interesting to be a completely different noodle who is aimed at getting something done. I go in there, get it done, smiley, chirpy, happy. We get in the car, whatever. We're having a good time. We get on the way home, and I'm just like, I'm ready to go to sleep. So I definitely think there's something about the switching and the allowing of the switch. It's probably extremely exhausting, because it is for me at least. And I don't necessarily recommend it if you can just focus on one noodle, and all the noodles are at peace with it. But my noodles have been stifled and muted for so long that I'm allowing them to speak as often as they want to right now, because it's serving me to do that. Sometimes it may not be serving for others to do that with their own noodles, but for me, that's what's coming up for me. All right, so then it says, what else did I write down? Okay, so we were tired, focusing, we switched, Genius again, we got the school laptops, we get back in the car, we go home, super tired again. We're home now, and I'm both exhausted. I don't know if you can see it in my eyes, ready to sleep, but kind of in the background, maybe the passenger seat of this car, if we're all driving a car and the person hosting, the person fronting is at the steering wheel, but you got the navigator who's the loudest, that kind of influences where the driver's going, what the driver's actions are. The navigator can, the passenger can be a navigator and help steer the car in a navigating gentle way, or they can try to take the steering wheel over completely. But that navigator, the passenger next to me, is craving coffee, and they want to stay awake, and they want to get a lot of stuff done today. They're excited. We're excited. I don't know if I'm excited. I'm exhausted. I don't know how this works yet. This free flowing. I don't know if I say we. I don't know if I say I don't know if I say them. I don't know if I say her. I don't know how this works. I don't know what we're doing yet. But basically, I took the day off of work today, and I don't want to waste that with a nap. Maybe I'll take a nap later, but me being extremely tired right now, I think I'm just going to go get a cup of coffee. Okay, so that is all I had for my notes. I just wanted to say one thing. I confessed, I was brave enough to tell my dad's sister, my aunt. We ain't doing that again. Okay, I told my dad's sister about my noodles. I had told her when I first discovered them a little bit. I told her how I was seeing things and what was coming up for me, but I didn't dare tell her the whole shebang. And even when I told her the whole shebang just a couple days ago, I noticed myself switching to denial mode by calling it a synthetic way of coping and finding my truth, coping with what I've had in my past, my trauma, my whatever, my grungies, I don't know what you call them, whatever has gone on with me. I've had a hard time coping all my life. My emotional regulation has been all over the place. And I've also been on this hunt, this butterfly project, I call it. I'm in my cocoon. I'm waiting for my wings to spread out and fly, which I think they're quite almost there. I mean, I feel it. I feel my wings. They're very rainbowy and beautiful. It's awesome. Anyways, I feel like I'm crazy speaking out this out loud to her, to anybody really. And so to show her and to show anybody else, I'm not crazy. I swear I'm not crazy. I did this on purpose. This is synthetic. I'm doing this on purpose. And you know, a part of me does agree that I am, because I feel like you can force a noodle or an alter or a persona to exist. Just like an actor can get on stage and force that character to come to life. It's the same thing. You can force alters. I'm not saying people force them for malingering purposes or for faking purposes or for purposes that make you go, what are they trying to get away with? Or what are they trying to fool me with? I'm not trying to fool anyone by forcing my noodles out, okay? I'm not trying to fool anyone by saying that this is synthetic. Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop. I'm not trying to fool myself by saying that this is synthetic. Not sure what I was trying to say there. Let me think. I'm not trying to say that I'm faking it, but I do recognize that if all of this is happening because of a medical condition or not, I am very open-minded for the experience of my noodles. Whether I am forcing them to come out or allowing them to come out or recognizing them that they're there, I honestly feel that everybody has noodles that they ignore. They have thoughts they ignore, like throwing their baby in an oven. That's a terrible thought that anybody might have, but anybody that acts on it is a terrible human being. But we all have terrible thoughts that are so terrible that we ignore them and push them as far back from our brain as possible, which is good. Keep those noodles as far away as you possibly can. Or you can allow that noodle to come forward, not to act on that noodle, but to say, what's going on with you? Why would you want to put your baby in an oven? Are you okay? Do you need to take a nap? Do you need someone to watch the baby for a few hours? Let's probably do that instead. And let's cure that noodle. Let's take that noodle that's probably having some issues, and rather than ignoring it for it to come back and creep up someday in a violent way, or in a stressed out way, or in an anxiety driven way, or depression way, or I don't want to ignore my noodles anymore, no matter how bad they are, no matter how off they are. And I don't want to be this person that's completely going, hi, now I'm rainbow. Okay, now I'm genius. Okay, now I don't want to be this person that's completely lost sense of reality. My reality is that I am Crystal, the city of Crystal, the body of Crystal, the person who holds the bowl of noodles. I am the bowl. I'm the gray silver bowl. And with that gray silver bowl and all the noodles inside of it, I'm going to be okay, because I'm allowing each noodle to present itself when it needs to present itself. And I'm going to swirl my noodles, all the different colors, on the fork and eat them up. That's how I need to do this for me. However it happens for me is going to be how it happens for me. However it comes up for you will be how it comes up for you. And I'm ready to take on my trauma. I'm ready to face it. I'm ready to do it. A lot of people aren't. So that's fine. You do you. I'm going to do me. But this is healing for me to allow the noodles to come forward, whether it's synthetic, whether it's fake, whether I'm forcing it like an actor does on stage or not. I don't know. I can't say. I don't want to call it a condition, because I don't think it's a disorder per se, because I am feeling so much better about life now that I'm allowing this. I'm using it as like medicine, as like a therapy to like dissect what's going on. I think I had d.i.d or OSDD as a disorder before discovering this. Before discovering my noodles, I think I had a disorder. It was an undiagnosed, nobody could observe in the details that I'm explaining it now, because it was so covert. It was so not obvious, unless you're my husband and you can see the different personalities that would come at different times based on different trauma triggers. And yeah, it was nuts. Wow, I'm rambling a lot. Anyways, I want to go ahead and end this video. I just wanted to share with you how awesome my morning was based on my experience of now being aware, and also how that compared to what it was like before I was aware. I'm a lot more gentler on myself now than I ever have been before, and I'm a lot more emotionally regulated than I ever have been before. And to my aunt, who has been supporting me through this whole journey, I really do appreciate you. A lot of people don't have that, and I am so very fortunate to have you in my life. So a big shout out to Aunt. That's your name, whoever you are. Talk to you later. Love you, bye.